Pisces, welcome to your October 2023 horoscope. October is eclipse season, and please don't be scared. I know you're sensitive and it might feel a little bit scary hearing that, but hopefully this video will help you navigate this season. If you do want extra support, I am offering 30-minute personalized eclipse readings. You can book them down in the description box. We start the month off between October 2nd and 4th with Mars conjunct the South Node in your 8th house, sextiling Venus in your 6th house. You tend to bond with others quite easily, Pisces. We both know that boundaries are quite difficult for you sometimes, but this month is going to ask you to try a little bit harder. So any of the bad habits that you might have in terms of how you connect with others, where you compromise too much on yourself, then this month will ask you to take a look at it. And instead, you're going to be asked to really step into your own self-sufficiency. Perhaps you are really being asked to earn your own money for yourself this month, and you're really being asked to rely only on yourself for your self-confidence and self-esteem. Perhaps you find that all of the things that used to give you money, so if other people used to give you money, or if other people used to give you a sense of security and self-worth, that they fall away during this month, so that you can really learn how to exist without them. That might be quite intense, but with Venus in your 6th house, I would really encourage you to try to stick to your day-to-day routine as much as possible, because this will really ground you during this crazy time. Things do not get easier as the month progresses. Between the 8th and the 10th, Mars moves away from the South Node. It's in the final degrees of Libra. And there, it starts to square Pluto in Capricorn in your 11th house. During the same time, we have Venus finally leaving your 6th house. It's been there for the whole summer. It enters your 7th house, and as it does that, it squares Saturn in your 1st house. So a lot of squares and oppositions during this 2 to 3 day period. So please try to take care of yourself as much as possible. You will get through it, I promise. If you have any old, outdated, long-term visions and goals for yourself that perhaps include certain specific people in your life, perhaps you 10 years ago couldn't imagine your future without a specific person in it. This is a time to really re-examine and see if that long-term vision still suits you. And during this time, you actually, for the next 2 years with Saturn in your 1st house, you are really reconsidering your identity and who you are and how you show up to the rest of the world. With Venus now entering your 7th house and opposing your Saturn, it will create an interesting conversation between the balance between your relationships and yourself. Pisces, again, try not to step too heavily into compromising on yourself in order to connect with somebody else. One thing that could help is to step away from the intellectual type of connection with somebody else, the logical connection with somebody else, and instead step into the emotional connection with somebody else. The sign of Libra, it can be quite of an intellectual sign. So logically, you might understand that this person is another person, another human being, and you have all the love and compassion for them. But emotionally, you do not feel right about what they did or how they treated you. Step a little bit more into your emotions during this month. If you have not been dealing with these issues, you've just been shoving them under the rug, then on the 14th of October, things will get more intense. You cannot hide from them. They will come out from under the rug and you're going to have to face them. The solar eclipse is happening in Libra in your 8th house. We have the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, and the South Node all in your 8th house. This solar eclipse has the same themes as the beginning of the month because it has the same aspects as the beginning of the month. The solar eclipse is squaring Pluto in your 11th house and trining Saturn in your first house. We've already addressed quite a bit the theme. Just one more reminder: step into what you're feeling. Do not be afraid to step into your own individuality and stand on your own 2 feet. You do not need other human beings in order to feel safe, secure, and confident in yourself. After the solar eclipse, the planets start to move away from the south node, and the sun does so as well. On the 21st, the sun will reach the final degrees of Libra and will square Pluto exactly. Even though a square with Pluto can be intense, I do not think that this day has to necessarily be that intense. First of all, the sun moves quite fast, so the transit in itself is quite fast. However, I also say this because we have a beautiful aspect on this day between Venus and Jupiter. Venus in your 7th house is trining Jupiter in your 3rd house. So if you have done all of the hard work in the first half of the month, on the 21st, I really see this as a wonderful day of a reward for you. And this might mean that your partnership and how you connect to another human being starts to gel a little bit better. You feel more in harmony, and you also feel like your communication is just on point. You understand each other much better. 2 days later, on the 23rd, the sun finally leaves Libra and enters Scorpio and your 9th house. As it does that, it trines Saturn in your 1st house. This shift of the planets moving away from your 8th house and into your 9th house, I actually see it as a really nice way that you have done the inner work. You have understood that you do not need the connection to other human beings to feel complete and whole. And then when you realize that, you start to step into a world of exploration. You start to really dig deep to figure out what else is out there, and you start exploring. Slowly, after the 23rd, we have the other planets moving away from Libra and into Scorpio. On the 28th of October, we have a lunar eclipse in Taurus. So the Sun, Mercury, and Mars are in your 9th house, opposing the Moon and Jupiter in your 3rd house. Try to use all of your beautiful communication, your beautiful words to aid you in your exploration at this time. You might feel a little bit of a balancing act during this lunar eclipse between going far and wide with your explorations and staying safe and comfy with the things that you already know, or the things more closely related to your sphere of experience. Just keep your mind open and communicate. And finally, we close off the month on the 31st with Venus in your 7th house trining Uranus in your 3rd house. I see this as a wonderful day to get some insights from your relationships, and your relationships might give you insight into how you communicate. Perhaps you learn something new about how you can get your ideas across to the other person in a way that they understand way better. So overall, Pisces, wow, what a powerful month for you. There's a lot there for you in terms of how you bond with other human beings, how you connect with other human beings. I believe that you can learn quite a lot this month, and if anybody has got it, it's you. If after watching this video you still want more support, don't forget I'm offering personalized eclipse readings. You can find the booking link in the description box. I do these forecasts every month, so if you want to catch the one in November, then make sure you subscribe. I hope to see you again soon.